and welcome to MGTracey. Well, today we're continuing our tour of all the parks in Orlando, and we're at Typhoon Lagoon. Now, currently Blizzard Beach is shut until June in 2020, so if you've got a Disney Park Pass, Typhoon Lagoon is really your only option. Unlike the other parks, you don't have to book this up, you can just turn up, but realistically you need to be here before 10 o'clock, parked up. Parking is free, it's not the $25 the other parks charge, but you need to be here so that you can get your locker sorted and be ready to make a dash for your favourite spot. Only some of them are in the shade, so the beds in the shade tend to go very early on. A couple of tips for when you arrive: go and get your spot on the beach first before you worry about lockers and things. Get your towels down and bag what you want, then you can come back and get your lockers. Lockers are $10 for a small locker or $15 for a large one. I tend to use cash. If you use a credit card and you forget to sign out at the end of the day and say you're finished with your locker, then you run the risk that it will just charge you each day against your credit card, which is obviously a bit of a pain in the bum, so use cash. You'll find there's an option to buy a drinks canister for soft drinks. It's currently around $12, and that can be refilled free all day. Now, you don't need to buy 2 or 3 of those for your family, because you can refill it every 3 minutes from various stations around the park, and it's giant, so one of those should do your whole family. There's water fountains, or you can get cups of water with ice free from many places around Typhoon Lagoon.
Henry, see the foot one. Yeah.
You can rent almost anything here. Towels. If you're going to want a cabana or gazebo, so you've got an area of shade guaranteed for your party, you've really got to put that up in advance. There's none left today, and we're right at the start of the season, so it's not be able to get that during the day. The rubber rings, all that sort of stuff is all free. You don't need to rent those like you do in some of the other water parks. One of the things that makes this my favourite water park, although it's been here a very long time, it's clean, you can get good quality food with salads at a reasonable price, and really it has the best long lazy river. You can see a bit of it here today. It goes under waterfalls, all sorts of other bits and pieces, and it's awesome. The water is heated if you're here out of season. Then you've got the main pool. So the main pool will run different types of waves, and it runs different patterns from no waves to bobbing wave to the surfing wave. And the surfing wave is when this pool comes into its own, because you'll hear sort of a thud, you'll then hear everybody scream, and then a massive wave breaks right into the shore, and there's a line over there which is for non-swimmers, and you can see that wave coming now. How amazing is that? Now, when you're in it, it's a lot rougher than it looks, and it can knock you off your feet. So small children need to have life vests. They're available free here. You can see some of them there. Just having little armbands is not going to be enough in this pool. There are other kiddie area pools. The boat at the back there doesn't seem to be working fully today, but maybe that's a summer thing, and every so often a siren goes off and a huge amount of water jets out the top of it and hits all the people that are queuing for the water slides that's underneath it. This is one of the drink refill stations, so once you've bought your drink you can actually refill at any one of these with ice, and some of them dispense up to 100 different flavours, and it's every 3 minutes you can get yourself a refill. Now, everyone in your party needs to be wearing sea shoes, really, particularly the children. The pools themselves are very sort of gritty, sandy space to stop people slipping, and the rest of the park, the floor gets really hot in the summer. Although it's got sprinklers on it, Bare feet is just not ideal for children here. We've been here a couple of times now in March, and some of the water things aren't turned on until it gets much hotter. But as the year goes on, more and more parts of the park get turned on. Other things to remember is you definitely are going to need a lot of sunscreen getting in and out of the water, which is heated. It tends to remove the sunscreen from everybody, so you getting children, you've got to frequently apply sunscreen. Even on dull days, the kids can still pick up a fair bit of UV, and you will need bug spray as well, so make sure kids are covered in that here, as they're going to get nibbled. All around the park, every part of it is protected with lifeguards, and if you're on the lazy river, you'll see they do this funny little dance where they walk up and down their little allocated area. They're very friendly. Give them a wave, say hello when you're on the different rides. All around the park you can get access to food, and it's good as well. There's lots of salads. I had a fantastic shrimp salad. It's not too expensive. There's one of the machines there on the right people are queuing for to get their free refills for their souvenir cups. There's lots of places that you can get on and off the lazy river, but if you go from the entrance round to the right and keep going, you will find that's where all the tubes are stored, so you're not standing in the water waiting for someone to vacate so that you can get a tube. They're all stacked away at about, if you look at it as a clock, at about 3 o'clock on the river. So the lazy river forms a circle. Within it you've got some kiddie areas and the main Typhoon wave machine, and around the outside you've got other attractions, different tube rides, etc. These are some of the areas of shade that you can pre-book, and they come with a fridge, and I think actually they will deliver drinks and food too. You can see this one's got pizzas and stuff, and you get an allocation of towels, but you've got to book them up way in advance of the day here. This is currently the newest ride that's been put here, and it's a little tube ride for 3 or 4 people. So it's busy today. The queue time is 45 minutes. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it first thing when you arrive, just after 10 o'clock I think, or after 3 o'clock when the park starts to calm down a bit. One of the problems I've noticed with this particular ride is it spends a lot of time like that. The day we came last week and today, it constantly seems to stop. I don't know why that is, but you can spend a fair bit of time on that ramp there.
Around the corner. Right there, right there.
Crash and Gush here is one of the original, and it's 3 different speeds of tube ride that end up in a very warm pool. So if you're here on a colder day and the kids are getting a bit nippy, then the front part of this pool seems to be among the most heated here. And you can see that you get pushed up and down, and then there's 3 little chutes that empty into the top of the pool. So this is what's left of one of the early attractions, which was a shark swim attraction. So where the sand is now was a very deep pool. It was very cold, it was salt water because of the fish, and it had sharks in it. The sort of orange upturned boat there, you used to be able to go down into that and look underwater on the tank. And it was a sort of a powered water. It just used to float with a snorkel from that side over there. And then you'd float all across this, which I say was probably 30-40 foot deep, and then you'd come out there and you'd hand in your snorkel set. But it constantly failed some of the safety tests, was eventually closed for ages, and now it's been turned into an extra seating area. parts of the park there's lots of slides going in different directions. If you head down that there, you will find you can walk right around the back of the park, which is an interesting thing to do. It takes you over some rope bridges, which is quite fun. So it does look like you're entering actually one of the slide queues, but you can divert past that, and I say just do a whole loop of the back of the park, which is a lot of fun. Some of the smaller slides. So this is where the top path splits, up there on the tubes. This way you can walk around the park, and you start to see, you have an awesome view of all of the park from up here. I love the view from up here. So you're right behind the Typhoon, and inside that building there is the machinery that's driving the waves. I don't have the greatest zoom on this camera, but you can see the people there waiting for the mega waves to hit them. And if you can just make out in the distance over there, that top of the building, that's Disney Springs, which is the opposite car park to Typhoon Lagoon. There's also free parking there. This is the highest point you can get to. There's lots of waterfalls here. In the summer, if the ship was working, when it blows off, you get covered in water here. I just love the views up here, just awesome. You can buy an annual pass for the water parks, and it's about the same as 2 days entry if you don't want to do the actual theme parks. We've used the annual pass for various holidays, and I mean, you're ending up £10, £20, $20, $30 a day really to come here, which is exceptional value, I think. So we're just walking down now over the Rickety Bridge. This also gets a bit slippery because it's sprayed, so make sure you've got your sea shoes. And we're above again the high point now, looking down at the lazy river. Fantastic waterfall there. I'm going to be in there in a mo. And that bit there, you're just coming out of the tunnel, and the other side of that there's a mega waterfall. And here you've got another batch of family raft rides that go right up to the top. Again, you don't have to bring your own ring or rent it, it's all included in the price. If you don't like heights, you do get a bit of a wobble on this bridge. So if you're struggling to get your bearings, we're really opposite the entrance to the park now. So if you're looking at a clock face as you came in, we're really at 12 o'clock. And we're looking down now to the kids area, the tubes, Kiddie Creek. And if on a sort of map, really what you're looking at there is that's at 9 o'clock as you look at it. So if you want to come to that area, go left when you come in the park entrance, head for Gangplank Falls or Kiddie Creek. It's now a fantastic view here of all the folk there waiting to be wiped out. You hear that thud, you hear the scream, and then your grandma disappears. It really helped me if you could like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell. That really helps my channel. It'll be fantastic. If you're here for the twins today, they're not with us today, so you can follow their adventures on Instagram at All White House, and I'm sure they'll be in the next video. The other side of the lazy river and the children's specific area, they even have their own tyre ride there for ages up to 5, I think it is. As I said before, if you head left as you come in the main entrance, you're going to find a better area for small children. Behind us is the sort of kiddie area. We've also got little smaller slides here that empty into the main wave pool. But do remember, you will get some big rips here as those giant waves wash through even to this area.
Yeah, right where we were, right next door to it.
No, that one said one person per
I want
one.
to get food.
Can I get food right now?
Who doesn't want to be in that water on a hot day? Normal park hours are around 10 till 5. Varies of course during the course of the year. I'll have to take a lot of the background music off for royalty reasons, but fair to say, if you don't like the Beach Boys, this probably isn't the place for you. You're going to hear a lot of that during the day. Oh look, I thought that kid was dead, but he's okay. The Leaning Palms is my favourite place to get my food. There's quite a good menu here, and you've got plenty of shaded spaces to eat. But be warned, I did thought I had a special sauce on one of my fries here. Actually, before I ate it, luckily someone pointed out that a bird had pooped on my meal. So there are a lot of birds here. It's all marked don't feed it, but of course everybody does, so they're always gathering around here. And what goes in must come out, and unfortunately it ended up on my chips. But they're very good, they swapped it all over, but make sure you cover your food once you've collected it. This is the view you'll get when you first come in to the park. Head left, remember, if you've got young children, for all things that are going to interest them. In the centre we've got the wave machine, which is currently doing bobbing waves, but it will do a session where it has no waves, and then it will have the very scary 20-foot tidal waves. And then round to the right you've got the more adult rides, the tube rides are around that side of it. Remember, you can't take drinks in the water anywhere, you can't bring your own floats and put them in the main storm pool. Where you find the floats, they have to stay. Hope you found my tips really useful. Let me know how you got on in the comments below. I'd love to hear your trip here and how you found it. As I said before, please help me like, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit that blessed bell. This is Paul, and I'll see you in the next video.